Coming up on this week's travel show, I'm finding out how you can get up close as experts restore one of the world's most famous works of art. Oh man, it looks incredible. Krista goes wild swimming off the coast of Scotland.
You know what? It's actually not, no, I'm lying, it's really cold.
We meet the woman who doesn't let her visible difference stop her from travelling the world.
Being here, it's like I feel so connected.
I never heard of Dutch sushi? Neither had I until now. Hello and welcome to the Travel Show with me, Adia Depitan. This week coming to you from Amsterdam, where they're marking 350 years since the death of one of their most famous artists, Rembrandt. In 1631, he made this city his home, and it's here that he painted his most famous masterpieces. And you can see many of them on display at the Rijksmuseum. But what I've come here to see is very special and involves the painting that Rembrandt is best known for, one of the most famous works of art in the world, The Night Watch. The painting is almost 4 centuries old, and over the years there have been various restoration attempts. But now the museum is undertaking the most sophisticated one ever, using high-tech methods to carry out a forensic examination of how Rembrandt actually painted the picture before restoration can begin. And it's all being carried out in one of their galleries in full view of the public and live streamed online. Oh man, so that's it, The Night Watch. It looks incredible. And what are they doing here?
The machine you see there is an X-ray fluorescence scanner. And this way we get an idea of the elements present in this painting.
But this is a painting which is for us to admire. Why is it so important for you to know about the elements?
Because we need to figure out, we want to know how Rembrandt painted it, what his ideas were when he was painting it, how did he make this nice composition. Was it first all okay on the canvas, or did he change his mind and change small things, or did he change the composition? Those things we would like to know. And at the same time we would like to know what kind of pigments Rembrandt used.
So you're getting a real idea of what it was like to be a painter in Rembrandt's time?
Yes.
Or even just his unique style?
His unique style indeed, yeah. We're basically on Rembrandt's shoulder and watching him while he is painting these paintings.
The story of the Night Watch painting is absolutely fascinating, and this is a copy of the original, and over the years it's been trimmed down in size, especially on the left hand side. There are actually characters that have been lost from this painting because in its original location they had the right size, but when it was moved it couldn't fit into the space where it's moved, so they had to trim it down on 3 sides. I think some of those characters would probably be really miffed today to know that they've been omitted from Rembrandt's history.
So we're going to photograph the painting in daylight, but we're not going to do it like one snapshot, but we're going to do lots of photos next to each other. Mm-hmm. I think from the top of my head it's 11,000 photos.
Wow.
So then we get a really high resolution. It's like you're looking through a microscope. 1 pixel in that photo is like a blood cell, or basically it's smaller than a human hair.
I mean, all of this scrutiny and all of this work for one artist, what do you think Rembrandt would make of it if he was around today?
I would personally think that he would think we are crazy, but yeah.
Thanks to the 350th anniversary, this year Amsterdam is full of Rembrandt-related things to see and do. And lots of people are heading here, a restoration of the place Rembrandt called home during his time living and working in the city. Wow. So which part of the house are we in now?
This is the front of the house. This is where visitors enter the house, where they could meet Rembrandt.
It's very grand, isn't it?
Yes.
The high ceilings.
Yes, it is. It's meant to impress. People needed to see how successful Rembrandt was. Holland was economically very successful in the 17th century. So people earned a lot of money, needed luxury goods. Paintings are luxury goods. And Rembrandt stood out because he could do anything in paint. He could paint anything he wanted and make an illusion like things were real. He had a remarkable style that people found fascinating. It was with bright light and dark shadows. It's the contrast of the two that make these paintings dramatic. The thing that's really special for us as the Rembrandt House Museum, that is that he went bankrupt. He was very successful, but he spent a lot of money.
So he lived a lavish life.
Certainly he did, yeah. And he went bankrupt, and during this bankruptcy, they made a list of everything that was in the house. So we have exactly, room for room, listed everything that was in here.
So the irony of it is Rembrandt's misfortune is our luck, because you've managed to find out more.
It's our luck, certainly.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Love this place, the decor is amazing. So this is where the great man lived between 1639 and 1658. And it's so grand and really cool. This is where he produced some of the greatest works of art that the world has ever seen. Hey, look at this fireplace. That is nuts. There's a bed here as well. It's cozy, this, for a very small person. Now I've travelled about 30 minutes outside of Amsterdam to a historic town called Leiden, where I've been told you can have a very different Rembrandt experience. I'm looking forward to this. Leiden is the place where Rembrandt was born and opened his first studio. Today it's a smart university town, but it's still proud of its connection with the artists. And if you like mixing fact with fantasy, one great place to try out is this Rembrandt-themed escape room, situated here inside an old medieval tower. So basically I've been told this house is haunted by the spirit of Rembrandt, and we have an hour to escape, trying to use the clues, and that picture apparently is going to give us some information and help us escape. Over here, there is a padlock, and it's got colours on it. So I'm wondering if those colours are anything to do with the colours up on, can you see? You don't need to know much about the history of art to try and work your way out of this room, but a bit of lateral thinking and a taste for teamwork definitely come in handy. Woo! What's in there?
A creepy cloth.
Yes, we've got a creepy cloth! I think we're getting loads and loads of clues, and we're having a lot of success, but not the big success that we need.
Shall we do it again?
Nothing happen? I think we could be here for days. Is there water and bread here? And then, finally, with only 10 minutes left, it all seems to come together. Hopefully. Go on, yes. Yes! We are free!
Yes!
Go team! We've escaped! Well done! There's only one problem. Where's the lift? Stay with us, because coming up, Krista braves the cold and goes wild swimming in Scotland. Now, you can't come to Amsterdam without trying out some herring. It's a delicacy here in Holland. They actually call it the Dutch sushi. Can I try out some of your herring?
Yes, I can do it for you.
Yes,
Yeah.
please. So what do you make it with? What do you do?
With onion
Yeah.
and pickle. That's the way it is.
That's it?
Not the tail.
Do you cook it or anything?
No, this is not this raw fish.
Raw fish. And it's going to be okay for my stomach?
It's very good for you. Only you drink 20 beers tonight.
So this is traditional Dutch
Dutch food.
delicacy. Here we go. Sorry, Mum, but I'm about to eat on TV. It's not bad. I'm actually surprised. I mean, it's this funny fishy texture, but then you've got that onion sort of marinade on it. This is all right. Can I have some chips with this? For some people, traveling is about more than just seeing new places. It's about overcoming fears and challenging perceptions. So here's the start of our new series that follows people around the world who travel differently.
Travel means just being able to just go out of my comfort zone and just be out there, enjoy the culture, enjoy the sun or wherever I'm going. And everyone should have that right. Everyone should have the right to be able to feel that. I'm Tulsi Vegjani. I'm a motivational speaker and I'm an ambassador for Changing Faces, a charity helping people with a visible difference. It's really important for me experiencing a country like a local person would. You know, realizing like what their local languages are, it's a soul liberation thing, being able to explore culture.
Hi, this is me checking in. I'm currently in Prague and just walking out of a metro station. It's so easy to use, it's amazing. And anyone who knows me, I'm a history buff. So being here, it's like I feel so connected.
So it gives me a scope of like if I ever wanted to live abroad, how it would be like to live as a local.
We just spotted some dolphins. Oh my goodness.
Traveling for me, my biggest sort of anxious moment would be like how I'm going to be perceived based on my visible difference.
I was 10 years old when I got my scars. I was involved in a plane crash where I lost my mum, my dad and my brother. As time has gone on, you know, I'm in and out of surgery, and then the day comes where they remove the bandages from my eyes. Only the person in the mirror wasn't me. I really felt like somebody drew that face on, and that's when I knew life had changed.
I mean, an example, when I was in Milan a couple of years ago, just ordering a pizza in a restaurant, and the waiter couldn't look at me, and he took my order via my friend, and it was really uncomfortable. And yet I went to a restaurant like the day before, like next door, and they were just so friendly. And then the same day, like went to the cafe near the cathedral, and the same thing. Just couldn't look at me, and tried to order my cake and tea via my friend. At times it can feel really frustrating because it's like no human being ever wants to be ignored, right? Like regardless of what's going on for you. And to be ignored like that, that's quite tough. But we did walk out, we didn't actually stay in the restaurant. Because that I've got to show, like, I can't advocate that behaviour. Having a visible difference doesn't mean you get to take them off and keep them at home and then you go out for the day. I wear them, you know, I've got to check in with myself before I leave my house, where I'm at. I think I have to be a lot more mindful of going to certain countries. Obviously got to be respectful of culture in terms of what you wear. I'm on the other side of my confidence whereby I bear my scars. So I've now discovered wearing a bikini, for example. This is a really recent picture of me in Portugal. For anyone who knows me, like, I mean, I'm confident, but body confidence is something that I'm a big campaigner on. And me going out in my bikini and feeling comfortable like this was really huge. And it's something I'm really, really proud of. I think just traveling has shown me, like, you can't make a preconceived judgment about a certain country. And it's a small snippet. It's a one person, doesn't mean they represent the whole country. You know, I mean, I've got plans to travel so many more countries, and having a visible difference isn't going to stop me from going there. I'm just going to be a bit more mindful of the culture of where I'm going, that's all. I'm not going to go and say, oh, I wonder how they deal with somebody with a visible difference. I'm not going to go there. I'm going to go there with an open mind, and I hope that's what I'm going to receive when I go there as well.
And we'll have more people who face all different kinds of challenges when they travel here on the show soon. But to finish off this week, Krista's facing a challenge of her own in Scotland. Now, I've got to warn you, if you're not a fan of swimming in cold water, I'd look away now.
When the sun's out, the coastline around the Isle of Lewis rivals some of the best beach destinations in Europe. With its crystal clear waters and soft white sand. Even in the height of summer, here you can have large stretches of beach all to yourself. This really is a Scottish hidden gem. But it's also a small island where predicting the weather can be close to a mystic art.
Well, the clouds are drawing in, the wind is up and it's started to rain, so this is not optimal swimming weather. But what I'm mainly worried about is the temperature of that seawater.
I can guarantee you that you will be warmer inside the water than out today.
Norma has just begun her own wild swimming tours around the Isle of Lewis as an alternative way to see the area.
What do you do when you go wild swimming?
The first thing that you do before you go swimming is faff. There's a lot of faffing. You're thinking about where you're going, you're checking tides, water temperature, the weather. So there's a lot of prep before you actually go for a swim. So in some cases, you wouldn't really call that wild swimming, it's very good drive. But no, once you get in the water, it just takes over.
What's the appeal of wild swimming?
It is being just totally immersed. Centuries back, some of the islanders used to settle on some of the smaller islands. So you can see ruins and remains of that. On a couple of my swims, I take people out to an island where there's a temple and a cemetery where people used to bury their dead there, away from the village. They used to take them out to the island. So it's not just, for me, it's not just about the swimming. It's exploring the heritage as well, and all the history that the Hebrides has to offer.
I guess it's like a completely unique way to see the land, and you'll see things that you may not be able to see if you're just walking on the tracks.
Absolutely. You see amazing things that nobody might have seen before. You feel as if you're exploring uncharted territory.
You're an explorer.
Yeah, yeah.
Wild swimming has only become popular here in recent years. Norma told me that when she was growing up, she learned that for generations people here have had a fear of the sea. Just off the coast lies the wreckage of a vessel that sank in 1919. It was carrying soldiers returning from the First World War. More than 200 drowned, leaving a deep scar on the island. And it put many hardy islanders off even learning to swim. But for me, it's time to get on with it.
Does that feel good?
Yeah, good. I'm actually quite wet already, and it's not because we've been in, it's because it's raining. Perfect weather for swimming.
Right, are you ready for this?
What's the best way? Just straight in, or?
No, we'll probably a little bit of acclimatisation. Hands in first, a little bit of water on the back of the neck, and then we can just do a wee bit of floating, get a little water in the wetsuit, and then we can get on with it.
Let's do it. You're the expert. Let's go.
All right. Oh, it's lovely.
Oh, lovely, you say. Oh, do you know what? It's actually not, I mean, no, I'm lying, it's really cold. I was trying to be polite, but it's cold. But I think the longer you're in, you'll just get used to it.
Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I can do this.
Yeah, you can. You're doing it.
After a few minutes, thanks to my wetsuit, my body did start to warm up, and if you keep moving, it's fine. It's not advisable to come wild swimming unless you're really familiar with the area, and Norma is constantly checking in with me and guiding me to shallow areas where we can take a break.
Because we're now coming onto a low tide now, we've passed slack water, so it's a bit of a stronger, it's about the timing of the tide really.
So we're at the stronger pull of the tide just now, so we're going to go with it. And the deeper we get just now, you can feel it again.
Yeah.
That we're going that way. So you really need to be familiar with the area.
Due to the sea conditions, we weren't able to go to any of the Iron Age ruins on the islets, but we did manage to reach this place.
We've just come into this absolutely beautiful little cave, and it's so different, isn't it? We've just come around the headland, which is quite choppy and a really strong current, quite dramatic. And here it's so peaceful and calm. And though it's really dark, if I look down, I can see my feet really clearly because the water is so clean.
This is a relatively unexplored corner of the UK, and this certainly is a unique way to explore it. If it weren't for the cold and the jellyfish, I feel like I could just float here all day.
Krista taking wild swimming to the max in Scotland. Respect, Krista. Well, that's your lot for this week. Don't forget to join us next week when Carmen's in Japan, getting a truly bird's eye view of some ancient burial mounds in the heart of a very modern city.
Wow, that's really big. Gosh. And look, it's right in the center of downtown Osaka.
And Alex goes to sea for the very first time on board a specially adapted ship where wheelchair users can crew and learn the ropes too.
You're actually spot on at the moment. You're
Only now.
absolutely spot
Only on camera. Off camera, I'm terrible. But
That's next week, but if you can't wait that long, don't forget we are all over social media, so please give us a follow. But for now, from me, Adir Depitan, and all the travel show team here in Amsterdam, it's tot ziens.